Gemar Tov. Centuries before Mary Shelley gave us Frankenstein, the Maharal of Prague gave us the Golem. 16th century Prague was a regional center of Jewish life, and therefore a focal point for pogroms. During those difficult times, the community turned to its rabbi, the Maharal, for answers. The Maharal was a trained mystic, curious about the idea that when God created humans, God imbued us with our own creative potential. So in response to threats of violence, the Maharal put this belief to the test by creating a creature to protect his community. The Maharal started by taking clay from the ground and created a human-like form, a golem. Then, just as God gave life to Adam by breathing a soul into its mouth, the Maharal wrote a mystical name for God on a slip of paper, placed it into its mouth, and his golem came to life. And so for 6 days of the week, the golem served and protected the Jewish community. And on Shabbat, the Maharal would remove the slip of paper so the golem too would be de-animated and get its Shabbos nap. One Shabbat, the Maharal forgot to remove the slip of paper. The golem lost control and began to wreak havoc on the community. The Maharal was forced to destroy his creation. Some say he died in the process. If we have learned anything awesome, in the true sense of the word, about humanity, it is about our sheer creative potential to affect our world. Too often we see that creative potential gone wrong. When it came to humanity's attempts to unleash the power of the atom, Oppenheimer and others were aware that there was a non-zero chance that the nuclear fission reaction would not stop and it would destroy the world. Like the Maharal and Oppenheimer, like the myriad human creators throughout the generations, we confront our creations with the questions, once we create them, what control do we have over them? What are their limits? Can we stop them? And what if we fail? And in this current moment, when it comes to human creations, we seem to be at an inflection point concerning artificial intelligence and machine learning in our world. We're at this inflection point for a couple of reasons. First, the most notorious machine learning algorithm, ChatGPT-4, can have fascinating, bizarre, even surreal conversations with you. Just like the internet didn't take off until it fused with the communications devices in our pockets, well, now that we can communicate with AI, its potential to grow will continue exponentially. In fact, computer scientists now understand that between the last iteration of ChatGPT and this one, the brain neuron connections are equivalent to have gone from being that of a honeybee brain to now being that of a squirrel brain in the latest version. It's only going to get more dire. Read most favorably, artificial intelligence as a transformative force, enhancing various aspects of society by enabling machines to analyze data, learn from patterns, and make informed decisions. With increased efficiency and new data-driven insights, AI empowers medical professionals with accurate diagnoses, predicts disasters, personalizes learning, and optimizes resource management for sustainability. It bridges language barriers, fostering global connectivity and cultural exchange. Ultimately, AI automates tasks and augments human capabilities, freeing our potential for creativity and innovation while contributing to societal well-being. And most importantly, it helps rabbis write paragraphs about the benefits of AI. At the same time, we've become increasingly aware of AI's challenges. In the education space, ChatGPT and predictive language models have upended conventional wisdom on plagiarism. Not only are plagiarism checkers unable to identify AI-generated text, But students are using AI to circumvent tasks that usually require deep thinking and analysis. A Columbia University undergrad recently shared a student perspective in the Chronicle of Higher Education. He wrote, "Students know that if you ask ChatGPT for a finished product, you'll probably get an amateur essay. So as an example, I told ChatGPT I have to write a 6-page close reading of the Iliad. Give me some options for very specific thesis statements." Here's one of its suggestions. "The gods in the Iliad are not just capricious beings who interfere in human affairs for their own amusement, but also mirror the moral dilemmas and conflicts that mortals face." Not bad. With one snap of the fingers and almost zero brain activity, I suddenly had completed one of the main challenges of writing an essay. Then I asked it to outline the paper for me, and it did so in detail, providing a 5-paragraph structure and instructions on how to write each one. All that was left now was for me to follow these instructions and perhaps modify the structure a bit where I deemed the computer's reasoning lackluster or flawed. If AI can help students overcome some of the most challenging hurdles in an educational assignment without the student needing to create unique thoughts, how will the next generation of learners develop critical language and analytical skills? AI has also created problems in the professional world, including in the court of law. Famously, a few months ago, an attorney admitted to using ChatGPT to help him find legal precedents supporting a client's case against a Colombian airline. The only problem was, the chatbot's suggestions included several legal precedents, some of which weren't real, misidentified judges, or involved airlines that didn't exist. The arguments sounded accurate enough that law clerks spent days trying to find the cases cited, until they realized that the source of the legal brief was no true source at all. But both of those problems, generating essays in academia, doing a lawyer's sloppy homework, those problems are actually human in nature, and they'll require us to determine the limitations of machine learning as a tool for generating ideas. The bigger issue in the technology is that as a predictive algorithm, ChatGPT cannot cite its sources, even if it's completely correct about something. Because the algorithm pulls the information from multiple sources at once and predicts the next best word or phrase, we cannot inherently trust the information it provides. I would like to be clear, this is not Jewish. Our tradition is obsessed with citing its sources. It preserves majority opinions that receive the force of law and minority opinions that do not. Any page of Talmud, one of Judaism's central texts of law and lore, shares not just legal opinion, but also its chain of transmission. Rava taught in the name of Rav Sechora, who taught in the name of Rav Huna. This citation from teacher to student is just as important as the actual teaching itself. And you know the value of a chain of tradition from your own experience as well. You hear a piece of information, and the first thing you ask is, where did you hear that from? Or who told you? And you're better able to process or trust or place that information based on what you know about who told you. If I said, I heard it from Julie, well, I know I have a relationship with this person, that she has expertise in what she's talking about. And if she's wrong, I can go back to her and hold her to account for her mistake. From the earliest age, our web of knowledge and understanding about the world is built on relationships with those we trust. I might be able to have a bizarro conversation with ChatGPT, but I don't have a relationship with it. I cannot hold a predictive language learning algorithm to account for feeding me incorrect information. Unlike Julie, who has an incentive to be accurate for the sake of our relationship, AI has no similar motivation. Undoubtedly, AI will continue to grow and develop, algorithms will improve, and machine learning will get better at approximating the things that humans do, maybe even doing them better. And unlike the Maharal, there may not be a proverbial slip of paper to destroy the experiment before it's too late. So why do I share this on Yom Kippur, the day we are aware of our own mortality and humanity? Precisely because this technology, in its cold inhumanity, actually holds up a mirror to the essence of what it means to be a human. It forces us mortal thinkers to wonder, in relation to a power that has access to more information than any individual, what is uniquely human? Paradoxically, one thing that makes us human is our imperfect memory. Rather than storing every moment in our lives with equal clarity, humans have some memories that are sharp and can be recalled with great accuracy, some memories that are hazy and uncertain, some that have disappeared but can be recalled when prompted, and some that are effectively gone. How else do we describe the experience of early parenthood? Holding on to the key milestones in our child's life while forgetting the sleep deprivation, uncertainty about seemingly simple decisions, worry over keeping a human being alive. And then at some point you look back at it, you miss your tiny human, and some people decide to have another. Of course, remembering and forgetting can have negative consequences as well. We remember our grudges that may not serve us, or hold on to fears and limit ourselves. And humans are uniquely capable of forgetting history while being doomed to repeat it. But with memory, however imperfect, comes meaning. There is a reason our tradition reminds us that we were once slaves in the land of Egypt. Each time the Torah invokes that memory, it justifies again our ethical action in the world, our imperative to care for those less fortunate. Our sacred texts cry out, Al tishkach, do not forget, and Zachor, remember, over 200 times. When we tell our critical stories through the observances and festivals in the Jewish calendar, there's a clear expectation that those of us doing the recalling should appreciate the core significance of past events, take personal responsibility for them, and act accordingly. We remember we were strangers in the land of Egypt so that we do not forget those on the margins in our midst. We remember the Sabbath to find a place for Judaism in our lives. We remember. We shape our memories, and our memories in turn shape us. Another facet of our humanity lies in the deep connection between our memories and experiences and our emotional life. Think back to a meaningful moment in your life, time with a close friend or family member, experiencing a holiday, visiting your favorite place for the first or 100th time. Think about how that experience engaged all of your senses and how it made you feel. The sense of awe we feel in those special moments cannot be quantified or created by an algorithm. It needs to be experienced. We cannot teach AI what it feels to sit under a waterfall, or witness a rainbow, or hold a baby for the first time, or dance at a wedding, or say goodbye to someone we love. Because those moments are not defined by the binary ones and zeros of the experience, but by the totality of what's happening in our senses, emotions, and memories. Yes, we can experience the world through the technologies we have available, but it's not the same as experiencing it for ourselves, live in person with all our senses and soul activated. The awe of our lives, defined in Hebrew as yirah, the same term we use for these high holy days, yamim noraim. This overwhelming awe makes us human. And a final factor to our humanity is also connected to these holy days. To be human is to be vulnerable, to confess, to make teshuvah, to do all that is required during these days of awe. Separately and together, we can admit feeling lonely or confused, unsure about our next steps. We struggle with our imperfections, the reality that we cannot do it all or know it all. Yes, for some problems and questions, machine learning can help provide data-driven solutions, but we need other people to hold our deepest vulnerabilities and heal our deepest wounds, the parts of ourselves we lean into these holy days in particular. We learn this when God created two humans in the Garden of Eden to support and challenge the other. To be human is to exist in community, to build relationships, to seek the support of those around us, to find others to navigate the complexities of our lives. We build these relational webs upon trust that machine learning algorithms have not earned. And while the progress of technology will continue to ease the impact of human shortcomings, Judaism views those shortcomings, these vulnerabilities, as part of our godly essence. God did not create humans to be perfect, finished beings, but as raw material with untold potential to fashion ourselves and our world into something exalted, something godly. Jewish tradition regards vulnerability as that feature of human life that propels us to do something of lasting value. AI may be coming for our jobs and our TV and movie scripts, but it cannot come for our relationships, our sense of awe, or our vulnerability that helps us grow as people. Instead of getting overwhelmed by what AI can and might do, we can instead focus on who we are and what it means to be human, what we are uniquely suited to do and experience as individuals and as a community, how our human efforts, supported by the golems or educated machines that we create and hopefully learn to contain, can continue to iterate and adapt to our ever-changing world. At the end of the Barbie movie, the lead character, debating her future choices, says, "I want to be a part of the people that make meaning, not the thing that is made." Whether we realize it through a toy or because of AI, meaning making is our special human gift. Beyond any physical achievement we can dream up, our creative power truly comes through the stories that we tell. Our creative power generates the values that we weave into telling and retelling those stories. Our creative power builds the community of people who share those values. And only then does our creativity generate actions that we take as individuals in this world. Machines may be learning, but so are we. May we be granted the wisdom to understand and remember the difference. Ken Yiratzon.